What up, my guy? Damn, my fucking laptop not working, man. Oh, it's one thing after another, man. God dang. What the fuck? Ugh. Every time I turn around, ill will. Hit me up, Will. We gotta connect, bro. We still ain't really chopped it up for real, man. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I can't see the chat with my fucking man. Damn. Damn, I don't give a fuck about that monetization. Fuck it. I'm cussing like fuck in the beginning of this live. I'm mad as fuck. It say my laptop. It says logged out and unable to log back in. I'm like, what the fuck? Wait, no, it says. All right, this time it said password incorrect. Let me see now. All right, I think it's gonna let me log in now. It kept saying this account is logged out and unable to log back in. Oh, thank God. Okay, my all right, the laptop back. Man, I was about to go crazy. Cause one of my phones already messed up. My backup phone. It just too much, man. It's just too much. What's up, everybody? So, as we get started, before we get started, I want to say peace, love, health, and wealth vibe tribe. Like and subscribe, help your boy break away from that 9 to 5. My name is not important, but what is the fact that I'm here on behalf of Sacred Self Healing Center, where the heart is the center for healing. Understand when you come here, this is spa day for the soul. Chicken noodle soup for the spirit. And Manny and Petty. I ain't gonna be able to remember that, bro. And my phone, I'm using my phone right now. You just gonna have to shoot me a text message, big dog. Just 'cause if you can, the number's still the same. Wait, do I got an EPN right here? Let me see. Three. Yeah, and we need to collab. We gotta get this money, man. Man, what is going on? My laptop doing some crazy stuff. 323. All right. All right, so of course I want to send my thanks, my gratitude for everybody who's tuned in live. Shout out to everybody who's gonna watch this on the replay. And shout out to everybody who showed love on the channel in the past. You know, we definitely appreciate and show love to everybody. So for those who wasn't here last night, the card of the day is the Four of Cups. And of course, I'm not gonna get super deep into it here. But remember, when you see this Four of Cups today, remember that this card is saying that The missing piece of our manifestation is our heart. It's our heart space. And without that, it's a wrap. So, of course, I didn't come here to be a pretty face. If you guys want to get on the list, please follow the instructions below. For what? OnlyFans? What you talk about? You about to do OnlyFans? Smoothie time. I'm almost done. Smoothie time. I'm mad as hell. I got a pumpkin. I got one big pumpkin flower. I think it's going to be multiple, but the plant's so small. I think I might just have to do one pumpkin on there, man. You know what's crazy? I realized, I didn't think about this till after, but I got monetized less than 2 years, a little bit over a year, with no collaborations. I didn't really meet no other YouTube. Not I didn't really meet no other readers until after I got my channel popping. I started sharing my channel with other people. I got like my first basically my first 100 subscribers off YouTube Shorts, and then I just went crazy going live. They say I'm the biggest, the largest. The bitch kicked me out her place because I bent over and farted. Uh, Chill, chop it up, do reading something. Hey, did I miss it? Did anybody ask for a reading? So what's going on? Since my reading's not good enough, what's going on in your life then? Tell me something. Don't let nobody throw tomatoes in my face. Why do you burn bay leaf? Um, there's some details I can't tell you here, but bay leaf is used as a herb. And when you burn it, it help attract your intentions with you. Just like how people burn cinnamon for money, stuff like that. But the difference with bay leaf is that bay leaf It's any intention. You know what? I didn't even see that you sent me a message. I've been busy, man. Y'all know I stay in the lab. Y'all know I be working. Gotta stay in the lab. Gotta stay in the lab. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. So wait. So I hope you know last night, that strength card that was for you last night, G. You know when I was giving you the reading, when I was giving you the reading, thank you for the shout out. When I was giving you the reading, you never responded last night. Would you like for me to go back over that combination that I gave you last night? Ill will, you still in the building? Yo, what up? It said we got 4 people, but only 3 likes. Please double tap that screen, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, donate to reciprocate. Remember, everything that you donate goes directly to food, shelter, and water. Thank you. You want a new one? That's very disrespectful. Okay, so what do you want? Because you can't say a general reading, because I gave you a general reading for today. Now, that puts you on the spot. Now, go find the question. Now, that's what you get for being smart. Now you got to go find the question. Smarty pants. Nope. Ain't no new energy today. That's what I gave you yesterday. Smarty pants. Now, I knew you was gonna say something like that. I knew it. No, I gave you a general reading last night. You weren't even paying me no attention, so it's cool. If you want a reading, you gotta ask a question, right? Don't members get free questions? Birds fly free. You want to fly Southwest? Don't you just want to get away? Don't you wish you had a little red button? So what do you want to know, guided? You said I want messages from the universe to me. That's the cards you want. You know that's not on the list. Please do not listen. Listen. The members of the channel, the moderators, the veterans of the channel, I look at y'all as like channel ambassadors, right? I don't like that question. I don't like that question because it's a yes or a no question. That's what I'm saying. It's a either or. So if it is on the, that's why I said I need to remake the list, because I remade the list for my other channels, but I didn't do the one for this one. I need to redo that list. I need to put up my list because well, if you calm down and listen, that's what I'm trying to get to. But yes or no questions is totally inappropriate for tarot. Can you do yes or no questions with tarot? Yes, you can. I guess you can, but technically, tarot was not meant for yes or no. But the question is, do you even want your ex to come back? Now, this is a question that I like. Where's she at? Is she picking questions? Text her and see if she picking questions. There she go. Okay, so I got guided question first. So you gotta hold on 1 second. All right, so we got one person who asking about family. How do I fix the situation with my family? Hmm. Chat chat. Very interesting card. So, uh, this is a very interesting card, especially when you're talking about practical, actionable steps. Um, how can I say this? Because I want to say it, but I just don't know how to say it. Okay, so ah, I got you. So the Queen of Wands, and the King of Wands, but the Queen of Wands, is often associated with good advice. She's associated with passion, optimism, inspiration. Um, she's a person who leads with love, right? She's led by the internal desires of everything. Um, affectionately known as the witchy witch of the deck, she's the one who will get what she wants when she wants. Um, I think your problem, I hate to say this in this manner, but bear with me. So I think the problem that you've been experiencing, the reason why it continues to exist because you haven't stepped up yet. And it's not always going to be things that's going to be congratulated, things that's going to be recognized, publicized, etc. Right? You got to donate for a free reading. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Just follow the instructions in the chat, please. All right, guided. So, you asking how can you, right? And I think that one thing that you can do is it's it you got to foster a relationship with each individual. And you're going to have to, I see you as like a coach. I see you using your passion for good. I think that maybe in the past you could have been like a firecracker or something like that. But and you know sometimes people look down on people like that, but the thing is that when you actually articulate yourself, you're almost never wrong. And so if you can put the passion behind the wisdom that you have, I think you will be able to bring everybody together. It's nothing wrong with you being a firecracker, but now you got to know when to raise your voice, right? This time, use it to motivate, not to hurt. Use it to teach, not to destroy. You understand what I'm saying? Now it's time to be intentional, right? Because most of the time, when people have what we call emotional outbursts, that's because they have a desire that isn't being met. Am I correct on that, ladies and gentlemen, or am I off? Right? Whether they want money, whether they want time, whether they want love, whether they want to be heard. Most of the time, people have an emotional outburst because they're lacking something, and they need to get a point across. And maybe they didn't know the best way to say it, so they just closed their eyes and said it, and it came out as an emotional outburst. Or whether they felt like, it was time, whether it's been building up pressure, you say, you know what, I'm just gonna just let it all out. But now, with you, I think you underestimate who and what you are in your role as a leader. And um your wisdom can nurture people. Your presence can nurture people. Just by seeing you and touching you, right? The Midas touch, right? Just by seeing you and touching you, people benefit from being in your presence. So now you got to know that all the time and understand that now everything that you've been through is so you can understand both sides of the argument. And now that you understand both sides of the argument, you can be more diplomatic, right? You don't have to be the Knight of Wands. You don't have to be the Page of Wands, right? You don't have to be the Seven of Wands, right? You've earned your status as queen now. And now only thing you got to do is be a master of your faculties. Because in order to be on the throne, right? In order to have that that divine energy and to claim it and own it and to to use it, um you're going to be tossed in the fire. But this time your perspective is different because you is different. All right. So, like I said, nurture and foster each one. And when you do that, then nurture and foster each them like their relationship between each other. Kind of like a spider web, right? But you got to build the trust. You got to build the relationship between each individual, right? You got to not prove, but you got to walk it like you talk it every single time you meet somebody. And then eventually, right, you will see how the people you meet interact with each other. And then you'll be able, because of the trust and the love that you built between each individual, then you can help them foster in between each other, and then we become a cohesive unit called a family. Because we can't be a family if we're not cohesive. Then we just a bunch of individuals. You understand what I'm saying? So you fostering that relationship is going to help you um grow into this leadership role beyond, right, into your content, into all of that stuff, because you realize that the same thing that you went through and go through, um, you realize you're not the only one. Thank you. Thank you. Namaskaram. I appreciate you. Um, but yeah, this queen is telling me that it's time for you to step up, and it's time for you. It doesn't matter about age. It doesn't matter who's the mom, who the dad, who the big sister. It doesn't matter. It's about playing your role. And fortunately, right, your role is the queen. That doesn't mean you can't be the king one day, right? Meaning that we get the divine wisdom, right? But there's a certain level of wisdom here with the queen, right? She wouldn't have a crown if she didn't. But her specialty is the love, the passion, right? Well, the king of wands, he has the passion, but it's the intellect that's the final say so. Well, her love is the final say so. So if you don't have any more questions, comments, or concerns, and remember, just in case, if y'all don't remember the Four of Cups last night, right? Remember, how I interpreted the Four of Cups was the heart is the missing piece, right? We all going somewhere, and we all have moments where we feel like something is missing, and we sometimes we look for things outside of us to complete us, and rightfully so, right? If it's a piece of the puzzle, it's a piece of the puzzle. But my thing is that if that's what you want, then you have to decide that for yourself. And once you decide that this is what I want it, I deserve it, I earned it, I'm going to treat it right, then your path is going to open up for that thing to come to you, whether it's money, whether it's a man, whether it's spiritual knowledge, whatever you want, you gotta walk it, right? That Four of Cups is saying open up to your capacity to feel, right? Where in our life can we open up to feel more compassion, more love, more sympathy, more harmony, right? More peace, more balance. Okay, so we're going through a tough time right now, okay? We're going through a tough time right now. We trying to figure out how can I, okay? So, um, starting off with your reading from last night, you had the strength card last night, and understand that the strength card is all about you combining the Four of Cups, and the strength card is you you regaining your balance by really understanding your strength, right? It's not about understanding the pain. It's not about remembering the times where you failed. It's about building. It's always about building, right? It's always about building. So you ask, how can I get through this tough time? What did we build yesterday? What have so what have we done yesterday that we can build on today? Right? Where in your life are you seeing consistency? Where in your life are you seeing growth? Where in your life are you seeing momentum picking up? That's the best way to get through this tough time is to get back in shape, meaning get back in tune with the rhythm that you created. All right. So you got the Lover's card here. All right. So let love lead the way, right? Then we don't even need to make this complicated. But um remember what I was just saying before I pulled the cards. I feel like this card, the Lover's card, is reiterating that point. But let me go a little bit deeper on what I mean, right? So when you're looking at the love, you know what? Hold on, let me see something. 1 second. Um, beyond, you know what? Beyond, um, beyond the normal, what people say about the Lover's card, right? The real reason why people make decisions is because they looking for harmony. right? Everybody is on the pursuit of happiness. Unless you're very demented, but demente, that's a whole nother story, right? But in general, right, the reason why we get into things is because we're looking for growth, we're looking for balance, we're looking for peace, right? We're looking for harmony, we're looking for growth. And here, um, the two people engaging here um are said to be pure in spirit. That's why they're naked. Okay. Um, for you, you need to slow down and you need to start playing chess. I think that there are some things going on. There are some things moving in your favor, and you don't really understand the momentum, the power that you have, and with all due respect, um, you, hey, you can take a break from moderating when you get in a reading, right? This is spa day for the soul, chicken noodle soup for the spirit, manny and petty day for the ego, right? Enjoy this reading, okay? Jeremy got it. He got it. He a Richardson. I know all about them Richardsons. So so beyond the thing about it's with this lovers card. In order for you to navigate through this tough time, you gotta understand um the actions. Um, Practically speaking, again, I want you to start playing chess. I want you to be so immersed in every single decision that you make that you become infatuated with your path. I know you like I know you like to be spontaneous and that kind of stuff, but cycles, the word cycle is in my head right now. We're gonna have to move in cycles. It's something about the rhythm. Remember I said something about momentum and rhythm. uh if you really think that's funny, then just check the description box. Okay, check the description box. I mean, not the description box, but check the chat. I pinned the message in the chat, and everything that you need is right there in the chat, bro. I appreciate you. So again, um you building momentum in your life, right? And you don't realize how much momentum you have. Okay, listen to me if I can speak to you, right? uh this lovers card, as well as the strength card, right? We can't ignore that strength card. And this four of cups, we can't ignore this four of cups. This lovers card is saying that we got to become more calculated with the choices we make, because each choice is a contract. Whether we accept something or deny something, each choice is a contract. And we got, it's something about high stakes right now. Something is very high stakes right now. Something is very high stake. But tap back into the momentum that you've been building. That's going to be the best way. I see like an eight of pentacles card or something like that. Where you gaining like that infinite momentum, where you become obsessed with your work. That's the best thing I would say to do right now, is become obsessed with your work. And even if you slip, even if you need to take an unscheduled break, you allow even if you need to take an unscheduled break or whatever, you allow yourself to do so. um but something is this momentum that you build, and this this path that you want. It's time for you to become fully immersed in it. It's always more we can do. It's always more we can do. And yeah, yeah, it's time. It's time to grow. And the reason why I keep saying that is because when you ask the question of how can I get through this tough time, you know where I hear like a F-150 commercial where tough times call for tough people, right? And so what do tough people do? They get cool, calm, collected. They breathe and they put their mental faculties to use. When things get hard and you get emotional, you lose every single time. Maybe that's why they call me coach, right? Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, donate to reciprocate. Remember, everything that you donate goes directly to food, shelter, and water. Book your free consultation today. Explore tarot, energy healing, spiritual guidance, and more, right? You can call me, text me at 424-231-7097. Tarot is mines44@gmail.com is my email, right? Peace, love, health, and wealth. All right. Back to the regular scheduled program, right? Uh at the end of the day, the choices that you make right now has high stakes. And it's time for you to really, really step up and to own a path. Um, the lovers card talk about choices, but it's something bigger than choices because remember what I said about not being spontaneous right now? Now is not the time to be spontaneous. Now is the time to be wise. Now is the time to be calculated. Now is the time to I don't know. It's something that I'm missing. So I don't know. You know what? Let me pull another card and see. Let me pull another card and see. All right. So yeah, you got the Knight of Wands and the Eight of Cups. So, and what was the first card again? Let me see. Oh, the Lovers card. All right. So this Knight of Wands is okay. So emotionally, so what I'm getting is that emotionally speaking, there's that's where the progress can be made. Even though you taking action, what is the emotional state that you carrying with you? And the reason why I'm saying that is because yeah, you could be posting videos and you can be doing that, but are you really doing the work? And I'm not saying that you're not doing the work, but is it scheduled? Is it a part of your all day, every day? Right? What I'm hearing is that it's time for you to switch up your practice. It's nothing wrong with how you tap in and how you get into the flow state, but now that you're doing art for business, it's time for you to tap into another divination or something, right? It's time for another. It's time for you to open up another channel, right? That's is what I'm getting, and so, in order for this channel to open up, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's time to switch it up. I'm hearing you plateauing. You plateauing, right? You plateauing. So, so the choices that you need to make is as the Knight of Wands. right? As the person who's gaining momentum, as the person who's starting to bring things full circle, right? Even though these lizards isn't quite biting their tail yet, there's some uniformity here. There's some consistency here. So, as far as where you are in the chapter right now, we of course we're not getting a king or a queen, right? But we are getting a knight, which is good. So the problem is that the fire, the momentum keeps getting when we start making choices and we start gaining this momentum that I keep speaking about, it keeps getting stalled out because of emotional blockages. And I don't, and maybe there's some emotional blockages that you're not aware of, but you're so close to the 10 of cups right now is ridiculous. The problem is that these channels is still clogged and the tide is low. That's why I think this is a new moon card, because the new moon makes the tide low, I believe. So there's still more work we got to do in the heart chakra space, right? Now, you can take this as a random reading, right? Or you can hit me up and say, I need some help with opening up this channel so I can get my last two cups, right? It's almost like not Thanos, because Thanos, I guess, was, a villain, I guess you could say, but it's like these two cups is waiting on you, right? That 10 of cups, that picture of perfection is waiting on you. So, so, so what the cards is telling me is that there's some residuals. You may not be aware of it. It's no knock against you, but what I'm feeling here is that in order for you to get through these tough times, is now we got to focus on the residuals. Okay, we got to make sure that these residuals is not lingering around, because it's the residuals. Even though we doing things differently, right? Maybe I'm just speaking in general, right? Maybe we stopped doing something. Maybe we broke a habit. Maybe we cut off toxic people. Maybe we eating healthy. Maybe we working out. But deep down inside, there's some lingering emotion when it's time to, and it might only pop up when it's time to make a decision, or it might only pop, you know what I'm saying, like it probably got so good at hiding that it only pop up when we most vulnerable, right? We always very vulnerable when it's time for us to make a decision, right? Because that's one of the very few times when we use in both sides of our brain, right? And this, of course, you already know what this represent, right? Balance, androgyny, right? But if you notice that the heel is leaning just a tad bit, I guess, to the feminine side, right? Hint, 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 right? But we gotta we gotta make sure that we don't get back to that stop and go energy that we was experiencing before. And so it's not like this is a two of cups. It's not like this is a five of cups, right? This is a eight of cups. So this is saying that we have the ability to we have the ability now to use our trauma as our playground, because under the right direction, it gives us strength. And not strength as in vengeance, but strength as in wisdom. See, what people don't realize is that there's forces that pound for pound is probably stronger than vengeance. But somehow, some way, everybody is rooted in vengeance. Right? So I don't know, me talking about vengeance, I don't know, maybe this is a heads up for you to, to bunker down and protect yourself, hint hint. But but even if we get off of our love, right? Even if we get off of love, it's easier for us to get back on the path, because people who is rooted in evil, they can't come up. They can't come up to our level and stay up there. It's uncomfortable. Just like when we come down to hate, anger, when we say things to hurt people's feelings and all of that stuff, just like it's uncomfortable for us, we can bounce back because we tapped into something that's a very good, renewable, and sustainable source, which is love. See, when you don't have that source of love, when you tap into whatever you tap into, it depletes you, it drains you. That's why those people look like how they look. You understand what I'm saying? Because when you talk about things, spirits that's rooted in a person, it literally draws energy from you. Why do you think they say is rooted deep in your mind? It draws energy from you. And it's only what you are. So whatever you are, that spirit is, and it's gonna precede and proceed. So that's why, and this is why I'm challenging you right here, right now, to get back up on your horse. Right? It's time for you. If I can say something to you directly, it's time for you to make a statement. And sometimes making a statement is just showing up. Sometimes making a statement is just showing up. You don't have to. You can go back to the places where you was hurt, but you don't have to think and talk about those things that hurt you. Right? The game is played above the shoulders. Air card. So my question to you is, are you ready? Now, I don't want you to go shooting blind. I got a game plan for you. I got a game plan for you. I got some advice for you. I got some advice for you. But see, and that's the thing. That's the thing. I'm not saying you don't show up. I'm not saying you not showing up. But I used to tell a lot of people this on my channel before, and I feel like it's appropriate for me to tell you this now. When you talking about self development, the self healing journey, self recognized, self realization journey, and all of that stuff, right? Which is what the cars is made for. At a certain point, you become a master of the mundane. But because you're so used to the mundane, it's easy for you to get comfortable in the mundane. Now it's time for you to step into your birthright or your ascension right. I don't know how aliens work. Maybe it's ascension rights, right? Maybe it ain't birthrights. I don't know. Was you hatched? Well, technically humans was hatched too, right? Some of us was hatched outside of our mom. So I don't know. I don't know. Somebody got to tell me something. Biology ain't. I don't know. Biology ain't consistent right now. But what I'm saying is that there's okay. So I'm gonna be very blunt and direct with you, right? And we can finish the conversation in private, but there's ascension here waiting on you. There's the two queens that you kept getting before, there's ascension here waiting on you. It's time for you to grab your mic, and it's time for you to do it. You put yourself in a space. Okay, you got to know when I'm channeling, it's not just me just speaking from ego. I listen. You created a space for you to ascend. You see the growth, but one thing that you did when it was graduation day was you went and started another degree, meaning that you started another channel. There's work for you to do, right? I'm speaking literal, I'm speaking practical. There's work for you to do on these YouTube streets. There's on the art side and on the reading side. You created a space. So everything that's been going on is a call for you to sit on your throne. You got the queen can't show that she's weak. If the castle is being attacked, you got to be strong. You got to be strong. So the queen, she got to show. Even if she don't show her face, the queen got to show up. You created this space. Now it's time for you to ascend to this space. How do you do that? You might, KP, this is a great reading, right? But how do I do it? You do it by going live, right? By creating the space that you created. I do readings and this and that. Now it's time for you. Now it's time for you to go to work, right? Now it's time for you to hold art classes. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time. You created a space. Now it's time for you to ascend and walk through it. And this is why I was telling you that in the beginning, it's time for you to start playing chess, because these decisions that you're making, this momentum that you've been building, is leading to something, and you don't want to squander that. This. Don't you know how you told me before? Like, well, you didn't really take things serious, and now you here, so now you got to take it serious. Well, now it's time for you to take another step. I got to challenge you. I can't be a coach if I can't challenge you. Right? What am I good for? It's time for you to take another step. It's time for you to, if you got extra time, right? If you just sitting in the window, sipping coffee, smoking a cigarette, throwing breadcrumbs out the window, it, these YouTube streets can use a couple of those minutes. 15, 20 minutes. But you got a lot of potential behind who and what you are, and it's time for you to own it, because the biggest thing about being a small business owner is understanding that people with money want to spend money. That's what money is made for. You think most people who make money, they don't make money to save it. They make money to spend it. And there's a lot of people who's willing to spend money on being helped. Oh, my bad. I forgot you was here, bro. You got to say something, bro, because once I get cooking, boy, look, I done had me a smoothie. So, look, I'm different when I'm on them smoothies. Yeah, I'm different when I'm on them smoothies. Um, all right, so we're gonna have to finish this one in private. But 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 at a certain level, once you master the mundane shit, the normal everyday life shit, the only way a person who masters something can stay sharp is by teaching. It's a natural order of things. Once you gain proficiency in something, and it's not beneficial for you to do it over and over for yourself by yourself, now it's time to, hey, this is how you draw. This is how you write. This is how you read oracle cards. Right? Hey, you need some advice? Let's see if this oracle card can help you. You know what I'm saying? So, my bad. I'm just helping her with her ascension rights. But if it's in your cards too, then it's time for you to ascend too. Right? I got you. But yeah, it's ascension right time, right? Like I said, if you, I don't know how the alien thing work, but however you get your next rank, it's time for you to own your. Well, you get you. It's almost like you had the ceremony where they gave you the ribbons and all of that stuff, but you still think that you a colonel and not general. You got to remember that you a general now. Hey, even if it's a 1 star, you still a general, big general. You big general to them shrimps, that's for sure. And that's the name of your channel, Big General Oracles. Love, Love Oracle and Positivity by the Big General Oracle Reader. Yeah, Big General. Yeah, that's your new name. The Big General. Recently, me and my ex have started back talking again and want to work it out. I'm wondering if it's worth it, my time and happiness. So what I'm picking up is that you got very strong intuition off the top. I feel like my stomach, when I started reading your messages, my stomach started feeling queasy. Uh, so I feel the emotion behind what you're saying. So my question to you is that what is the doubt that you have? Because your doubt is probably the great balancing act that you need. So while you answer the questions, right? I'm going to go ahead and shuffle up the cards and see what I can pull for you. But remember, what is I gotta ask you, what is the doubt and why? Because I gotta challenge you on something. If you're not 100% ready, then you need to fall back until you are. Even if you don't know if you want to leave or you don't want to stay, whatever way it goes, you need to fall back. It's not gonna be fair to both of y'all. You're welcome. But if you really want to thank me, you can thank me by signing up for my Coinbase link in the description box. Yeah. I got an affiliate link for Coinbase. You, if you really want to thank me, you can go download that, follow that, and get you some free crypto. And if you don't want it, you can just send it to me. Right? You can send it to me. But if I was you, I'd keep it. You can cash out immediately too, by the way. They might take like a quarter. They might take like 25 cents or something, but you can cash out. The doubt is the things that she has done in the past, but from what am I hearing, she wants to gain my trust back and retry. So my question to you is that are you so so forget your ex for a second, right? As a love coach, right? I gotta ask you, are you healed enough to give her a chance? And the reason why I'm asking you that is because if you can't love her, if you can't hold her, if you can't kiss her, if you can't do what have dinner with her without having flashbacks, without wondering when is the next time she gonna hurt you, then we don't even need to reconsider, right? The first thing first, you got to be solid in yourself before you accept your ex back. If you're gonna give her a clean shot, you got to give her an absolute clean shot. You can't, of course, some things is going to be relevant, like, her favorite food, shit like that, right? Of course, that's going to be relevant. But some things you're going to have to leave in the past totally. If you're going to start again, then you're going to have to give her a clean shot. No three strikes. No, you got two strikes from 2 years ago. No. Today is not 2 years ago. So the first thing I'm gonna say is you're gonna have to give her a clean shot if you do. And if you can't, huh, huh, right? What can I heal within myself to make sure I'm ready for love? And then another thing too, because if you're not healed, you might not even be able to give somebody new a shot. You might not be able to give somebody new a shot because you might be hurt so bad. So before you get in any relationship, you need to make sure you're not messed up. You healed already, worked it out, past trauma. Understand we will be starting new. So if you understand that you starting new and your intuition is telling you otherwise, then you got to figure out the disconnect. And the reason why I'm asking you these questions is because I feel like you know something. I feel like you feel something deep in your stomach where you saying that you should say no. But I think that because you're a lover and because you're very forgiving and because maybe you was told a good story, I don't know, maybe you had a one night stand or something with your ex or something, but something is pulling you to say yes, even though everything is telling you to say no. I'm feeling this no for you. Like, I know you want to say no. I think that you think no is the right answer. So now the question is, what is it that's making you want to say yes? it got to be something. It got to be something outside of you, because I don't think your intuition is telling you to say yes. I really don't think so. That's just my opinion. I really don't. I don't think your intuition is telling you to say yes. I think your first and your second mind is telling you no. And I think you're really looking for a confirmation on the no. I don't even think you. I don't even think you want to be convinced by the cards of a yes. You can tell me if I'm wrong. I don't mind being wrong, but uh-oh. We just had a card that just flipped. Ace of Pentacles. Um that's the external force. That's the kids is what I'm pulling is what's pulling you. Okay. So I would rather you so I what I to really say what I want to say, I would rather say in private, and that way I can have more information about what I would recommend. But here, what I see here is the Ace of Pentacles. So the Ace of Pentacles is the mustard seed. The Ace of Pentacles is the acorn seed. Or the Ace of Pentacles is the pine cone seed, right? Where um this is going to set the foundation for something beautiful in the future. Uh, you can always love kids from a distance. Um, but one thing is that a lot of people with a big heart space, they tend to overlove and under heal. Well, it should be more healing and less loving. A little bit of love goes a long way. And if anybody can hear my voice, y'all know that. A little bit of love will make you forget a lot of shit. Shit, the love of money make you forget morals. The love of man. So um if this is really going to be a new beginning, then y'all gonna have to start from scratch. And I think this is going to be an opportunity for you to have a bargaining chip in a say in a manner. I feel like you might be a little bit passive and you let her self destruct. And as a man, ain't no such thing as letting a woman self destruct. I feel bad for the beautiful women that I was with in my 20s, and I sat back and I watched them self destruct, and I knew things was happening, and I understood, but I just didn't have the courage to say things, or I didn't have the know how to make things happen, right? But at the age I am today, when it's time to, I'm not afraid to step up and say I'm taking the lead on this. Let me make this decision for us. I think that I can see something better than what you feeling right now, right? Uh, this piece of pinnacle is talking about a divine new beginning. Um, when we looking at the pinnacle itself, you can picture yourself being on the pinnacle, not in a bad way, of course, but holding yourself in high reverence, understanding that you are important, and understand that if you pray, meditate, whatever you do, you need to get in touch with yourself and your sacred path. Uh, a couple of the key terms that's associated with the Ace of Pentacles is manifestation, prosperity, and potential. It's ruled by Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. So everything here screams earth element. Why is that important in a love reading? Love, the earth element is important in a love reading because it talks about home life. It talks about, of course, money, but how you gonna pay the bills, where you gonna live, how you gonna live, right? It's the foundation of every single day. This Ace of Pentacles is saying that if there's going to be something new, then it really needs to be something new. And the new you needs to be cemented in stone before anything else happens. So you need to figure out who, what, when, where, why, and how with you first. Because this Ace of Pentacles is talking about infinite potential. And the infinite potential is coming from you. So this situation do have the potential to make it work, but are you going to be continuously sacrificing yourself in order to make other people happy, even though it make them self-destruct? Are you ready to step up to the plate and stick your coin in the machine? Meaning that are you ready to take over the game? Not saying that your wife is a game, right? But when we look at life from an unlimited point of view, meaning that like in a video game where you start to learn the abilities of your character or your avatar, right? Maybe, like I said, I feel passive energy here. Maybe adopting new skills, right? It doesn't matter who you naturally are. As a man, are you able to adopt new skills in order to survive, in order for your tribe to thrive? Right? Because as a leader, as a king, we have to be a master of our faculties, but also as a king, we have to be a master at everything that's an extension of our physical. So that means that every people, place, and thing inside of our environment has a place. And as a leader, we have to dictate and delegate sometimes. And I see you being able to take control if you're willing to and make this thing work. But you're going to have to demand greatness from your wife. Whether it's through counseling, whether it's through rehab, wherever it is, you're going to have to demand greatness. And if she's not up to the challenge, then you find a way to deliver the message, right? Maybe you might have to approach her as a school teacher, not a drill sergeant. But either way it go, you have to be able to get the best out of everybody. You have to be able to get the best out of everybody as a leader. As a leader, that is your job, right? Is to be able to connect and to motivate with everybody. All right. Now, as a man, you're going to understand that there's going to be times where you're going to have to hold her hand and y'all going to have to do things together. And then there's going to be times where you're going to have to slowly walk behind her and make sure she don't get pushed back as she leads, right? But you're going to have to put yourself in the mindset of being in the flow, of being able to do what's needed, when it's needed. And once that hate, once that healing takes place, that's needed. Once we get through the threshold. So here, right, this thing been calling me all day. Sometimes when I look at it, it looks like a mirror. Tell me that don't look like a mirror with the sun reflecting on it. So what's going on here with this? So the symbolism here in this card, what's going on here in this card is this is like the Garden of Eden or something like that. This could represent you. This could represent your subconscious. This could, like, let's look at it as your subconscious, your safe space, like what they call your prayer closet, right? um in this sacred space, cameraman, zoom out please. In this sacred space, you are the one. Whatever your heart desire, and whatever your heart desire and whatever your brain approve of, whatever your heart desire and whatever your brain approve of, right? Because we got to have brain heart coherence. These two circles represents potential going outward from you, right? Arm, leg, arm, head, right? These represent ripples of potential, of energy going out from you, right? Kind of like when you throw a coin when you throw a coin or a stone in the water and it ripple out. So whatever you desire and whatever your brain approve of to focus on, you it's meant for you. You have the ability to do it. Now, the thing about the pentacles is taking the practical steps to achieve it. And 9 times out of 10, the practical steps that we need is being able to learn. All right. So we can use discernment, right? So we can take our past and turn it into wisdom. Okay. Our past becomes wisdom here. All right. And it's like experience points for us making decisions in the future. So back to this path that we see down here. The path leads uphill, right? So you're going to go through the threshold, which means a new beginning, right? And you see we got peace lilies here. So make sure you tap into peace lilies, right? Understand the symbolism of peace lilies. But you're going to take this path and it's going to lead you uphill. But the thing is that sometimes, even though you could be in a house full of people, you can still feel alone, but that's okay, right? That's what being a warrior is about. That's what being brave is about. That's what being able to conquer the interior for the greater good of the exterior is about, right? Because as a man, I cannot fail, right? So just so y'all know, I do got a book that was wrote back in like around the time my mom died. No, well, it was finished around that time, called As a Man I Cannot Fail. And it's about 7 principles. No, it's called As a Man. And it's about 7 conversations that I had with myself over the years overcome. Because listen, when I start meditating, y'all hear me talk about this a lot. When I first started meditating, I had a lot of introspection because I never was a thinker. I was always just a doer. So me meditating, it unlocked my left brain, right, which is my intellectual capacity, right. It allowed me to think logically. So I started writing books. Like they say, when you meditate and you really take it serious, like your compassion, your love, your intellectual capabilities, all of that should increase. Listen, when I tell y'all the person I am today is not the person I was 10 years ago, trust me, y'all. If you knew where I came from, you'll applaud where I am today. And I came up with that, but it's true. But I wrote several books. I learned how to do tarot, Reiki. It's a bunch of stuff. When I started really taking the spiritual path journey, I went hard, man. Reiki, everything. But anyways, I even switched my major to religious studies. But this path, right? So in tarot, right? Welcome to Sacred Self Healing Center's Tarot School for the Sacred Emissaries. So this path, what you will learn in tarot is that this path of peace lilies is the energy that you want to take with you as you move forward through life. So if you pray, if you meditate, whatever your spiritual thing is, in order for you to grow through what you're going through right now, you're going to have to take the energy or the symbolism of the peace lilies with you from your safe space back into the real world. So this threshold represents the real world. And the reason why you got that path right there is because when you go into the subconscious, you always are tethered back to the conscious. You always tethered back to the waking life. All right. So when you go back to the real world, you're going to continuously elevate. That's what that mountain represent back there, right? It represents elevation, right? And what do it mean when a person reaches peak? That means that the person has climaxed or the person has elevated, has ascended, right? Whether it's mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, it represents elevation. It represents the mountain itself represents prosperity. That's why you get like the 4 cups on the mountain. That's why it's always rocks and mountains in the cars. My bad, my eyes was itching. because they represent blockages, but they also represent opportunities to climb and elevate, right? Just like in that Eight of Cups, where the water was blocked with all those rocks. Well, he's navigating those rocks pretty well. He actually created a safe space in those rocks, right? Because he's used to operating with little or no emotion. That's what that Eight of Cups is about, right? Deep, 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 deep symbolism. So I want you to focus on the elevation, not just you, but the we, right? If you are a family man, I want you to start speaking in terms of we. We are rich. We are peaceful. We are loved. We are healthy. We are wealthy, right? Speak love and life over them. We are healed, right? We are going through this together, right? 9 times out of 10, listen, I grew up with a mom with a broken heart, man. My mom died with a broken heart. My mom was an alcoholic and she vowed never to marry a man, right? Um, at the end of the day, she just wanted somebody to love her. She just didn't know how to get it. And she didn't believe it existed because the world that she was raised in was crazy. And what I would say is that no matter how much they kick and scream, and no matter how intuitive and emotional they are, uh, the feminine manifestation or the woman has her strengths and weaknesses, just like the men do. And so, when you understand her as an individual, and when you really be able to match her strengths and weaknesses and elevate her, everything gonna be okay. But you can't give up. You gonna have to be tough. You're gonna have to be stoic at times. You're gonna have to be disciplined, right? But I'm gonna tell you, with my experience with the military and stuff like that, which I don't talk a lot about. Listen, as a leader, what you gotta understand is that if I gotta wake you up at a certain time, I don't have to be up 2 hours. I just got to be up early enough to wake you up, right? And if I got to make sure you go to bed at a certain time, I just got to stay up long enough to make sure you go to bed. You understand what I'm saying? And even though we might be sacrificing minutes, right, as a parent, as a husband, right, those minor sacrifices are doesn't go unnoticed because it's going to result in the fruit of the labor. Like, yeah, I can drink this cold water, but my plants is really dry right now. So I'll get me some water later. But I'm going to water my plants right now. Right? So elevation is going to come from how well you can water your plants, meaning how well you can love. Right? So, whew, I think that's it. I think that's it. Unless you want me to break down about 10 more cards, because I got a whole deck right here. So if you got another hour to wait. No, I'm just playing. I'm done. I think it's time for me to take a break. I've given y'all all I got on this thing right now. I'm giving y'all all I got. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, donate to reciprocate. Remember that everything that you donate goes directly to food, shelter, and water. Whether you would like a free follow-up on a free reading, whether you would like to inquire about Reiki, whether you would like to inquire about meditation classes, tarot classes, coaching classes, which I think, Jeremy, you could benefit from coaching classes. But no matter what you fancy, Nightbot, as well as in the description, you can see all of my contact information, text, email. If you feel so called to donate, remember everything that you donate goes directly to food, shelter, and water, right? Somebody donate a 5-piece so I can go get me some saucy nuggets from Wendy's, right? Now I want some B-dubs. I want somebody to throw a 20 in the pot so I go get me some wings, right? You're welcome. Make sure you follow up. Follow up on your reading, bro. Follow up. But Remember, everything that you donate goes directly to food, shelter, and water. Okay, last call for alcohol. All right, donation-based reads only. So no matter if you want to follow up on the reading, inquire about any of my services, inquire about any of my classes, my contact information is there. If you want to learn about stocks, if you want to learn about crypto, if you're looking for an account, if you don't have PayPal, Cash App, or Chime to donate, then guess what? I got affiliate links, right? Especially with Chime. You sign up with Chime, we both get $100, right? No strings attached, right? Only thing you got to do is follow the instructions, all right? So with that being said, 111, it's been an honor and a pleasure to be of service to you all. And I wouldn't rather be nowhere else but right here, right now, doing what I do, right? So if you know what I'm about to say it with me. Peace, love, health, and wealth. Anything else, put it back on the shelf. Why? Because I ain't buying it. Peace. Well, thank you for that. And if you do donate, right, understand that in the description box, I got different donation tiers. Okay, I got different donation tiers. So the minimum tier, well, you can donate anything you want, but for $3, for $2.22, for a minimum of $2.22, you can get a 3-card question answer. So before y'all send a donation, make sure y'all type donation in the box. It might say, what are you sending this for? Or like notes or whatever. Make sure you type donation. All right. Because we are a nonprofit faith-based organization and you can receive tax deductions for donating. All right. So with that being said, it's been an honor and a pleasure. Peace, love, health, and wealth. Anything else, put it back on the shelf. Why? Because I ain't buying it. Peace. Ha ha. Bye-bye. Bang, bang.